and welcome to Curtain Call, our podcast all about theater. From the page to the stage, from the players to the playhouses, we're bringing you everything we can about theater so we can enhance our knowledge of culture, of the performing arts, and just promote theater and the people who bring you to theater throughout the city of Detroit, throughout the country, and throughout the world. We are blessed today to bring you one of the actors who I've had the pleasure of working with and who has been a mainstay in theater in the city of Detroit for many, many years. We're here again with our co-host, Diane Mathis. Say hello, Diane. And we're just really happy to bring you the stories of the people who bring you the stories that you see on stage. What are their stories? What brought them to theater? What are they doing now, and what are their plans? And how does it all tie into this performing arts community? So we're here together again on a Monday at 5 o'clock to enlighten you about the people who bring you the best theater in the city of Detroit. And we're so blessed today to have with us, I think, one of the finest actors in the city of Detroit, Roosevelt Johnson. Welcome, Rose.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
And we're happy you're here.
Yes, very happy. Been trying to reach you for a while. Get you on
Oh,
here
you
for
got
a
me
minute.
now.
Got you
You
on
got
here.
me.
And so we're gonna jump right into it. Rose and I have been sitting here trying to figure out how we first came together.
What was that first show?
What show was it? Well, I don't remember. He doesn't remember. I do remember the show we did together at the music hall,
Yes.
Family Love.
Family Love.
Where your dedication to theater and to the role and to the fact that the show must go on, it was beyond anything that I could ever imagine, because your dedication. You had a tragedy in your life at that time,
I did.
and you didn't miss a beat. You didn't miss a beat. But before we get into that,
Yeah.
what brought you to theater? What was the bug? What light bulb went off to say, I can do this, I want to do this? When and where?
I'll tell you exactly where. 13128 Myers Road. That was my family home.
Okay.
And in 1968, I remember sitting on the couch watching Ed Sullivan and the different acts that would come on his particular show.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember sitting there looking at it and going, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Show me. And so the next year, 69, I was 11.
Okay.
And I was going to Monier Elementary School, and we had a show called The Three Bears. And I remember our auditorium teacher was like, okay, who wants to be in my play? The Three Bears. Nobody raised my hand. I was first one. Ooh, me. And I looked around like, nobody else raising their hand? I'm going to be in the show by myself. So I was just so excited. She said, okay, good. And she got some other actors and everything. And we did our first show, packed, auditorium. And then, I remember the director, she was very nervous. And she was like, Roosevelt, I'm so nervous. I hope y'all do a good job. As soon as we go on stage, Mama Bear forgets everything. So at that point, I got my first taste of improvising and helping out, And I remember telling her it's okay, because she would start to cry and stuff. And I took over her lines, and we didn't miss a beat. And I saw the auditorium teacher behind stage doing the wings going, oh, he's pulling it off. How's he doing this? Because I knew the show had to go on. Mm-hmm. So there were certain fundamentals that I learned in 1969, at my elementary school. And I remember my auditorium teacher hugging me and saying, thanks for saving the show. If it wasn't for you, it would have been a flop. And I thought from that point, wow, this is great. That was easy. That was fun. I mean, it was scary that she lost all her lines, though. But it was like, that happens in theater, and you have to just be ready to respond to it.
Right.
And, from that point, I went on to, I still didn't dedicate myself to acting then, because my father was always, you got to get a job. I know you want to do this acting stuff, but you're black, you know, you're poor, and, you know, I want to make sure my son is all right. I said, okay, Dad, but Dad, you know, can you send me to Juilliard? Juilliard? What are you talking about? You can't make no money. Dad, really, I'm a very good actor, and everybody thinks so. No, you're going to Ohio Institute of Technology. You're going to get a job, you're 18. Once you get the job, then you can do whatever you want. Oh, man, I was so heartbroken. So he sent me to Ohio, and I developed double pneumonia.
Wow.
And I was like, Dad, come home, please. I'm dying. Boy, bring your butt home. Come on. And then when I came home, I started my career.
Okay.
You know, he let me do, he was on my back about a job. He was like, if you want to do this, son, do it. Just remember, do your best. You know, because acting's tough. I don't know nothing about no acting, but you want to do this, boy, just do your best. Like I told you, if you do the best at anything, if you sweep in the streets, be the best street sweeper. Anything you do, son, put your best effort into it. And I just realized when I went to Cast Tech, and I did 5 on the black hand side.
5 on the black hand side.
That's powerful.
And I played Mr. Brooks. And I got sick the first performance. I was in the wings. I was sweating. Everybody was around me. And the director came in and said, I guess I'm going to have to cancel the show. The white director, Ronald Tulakowski, loved him. And he walked out. And I'm sitting there, And somehow I said, the show must go on. And I got myself together and went on and did it, and had a standing ovation. My father was in the audience, and he was like, wow, son, you are good. Yeah, I'm still sitting in Ohio, but you good. You good, boy. You know, but from Cast Tech and almost winning the Best Actor Award, and that hurt me. That hurt me so bad, not winning the Best Actor Award. That hurt, because my director said, hey, don't worry about it. I'm going to get you the award. I said, if you give me the award, I can show my dad, and he can send me to Juilliard, and I won't have to go to no problem. You got it. You're the best actor I got. I remember having a tuxedo on, and my girlfriend at the time, she was dressed up. She won Best Actress. They gave her award, sitting on the table. Okay, we're going to introduce the Best Actors in this category. And they mentioned my name. Everybody went crazy. They mentioned Thomas Salisbury's name and somebody else. And the winner is, I did just like this. I knew I won it. I took my top hat, put it on, my cane. Thomas Salisbury. And everybody got silent, because everybody knew that the award was supposed to go to me. Everybody saw 5 on the black hand side. Who was this Thomas Salisbury? He wrote something and whatever. But everybody got silent. I sat back down, and I was just crushed. You know, because acting, as you know, being in the theater world, you know, it can give you some severe blows that might take down your self-esteem, might break you in some cases. Some people don't go back to acting because they didn't get a certain role or whatever, you know, and that did crush me. You know, I remember my girlfriend at the time, her award was right there, and I was like, it's okay, you're going to win an award one day, it's all right, don't worry about it, blah, blah. But at 18 years old, I can remember saying, I'm going to give up. Forget this. This is crazy. You know, if I'm going to go through this kind of disappointment, I'm going to go do something else. But I was strong, and I continued on. But that kind of experience I'm sure, has hurt certain people that couldn't recover.
Sure.
But luckily I did. You know.
Good.
And aren't you glad you did not?
Yes.
You are phenomenal. You honestly, you're one of the better actors I've seen come out of Detroit. I'm not say better. You were one of the best actors to come out of Detroit. That's the truth. I've seen you in a lot of things, so I know what you're capable of doing.
I appreciate
I've seen it, and I can't wait till I can have you. I can hire you to come in and do this.
Yes, I can't wait either. I've always wanted to work with you.
Thank you.
Because I didn't know you were a writer. And see, the thing about it is, I'm going to just jump to you just for a moment. Okay. One of the things I was impressed about Robert Douglas, he was a director, but you don't find a lot of directors who write their own stuff. The person I can compare you to in my career, with my experience, Ron Milner.
Now that's
Ron Milner.
Saying, Mr. Douglas.
Okay.
At the Northwest. I'm trying to tell you, the difference between you and Ron Milner was you wasn't as crass and mean and call people names and all that. Ron Milner would break you down. I remember one day I was on stage doing this. He said, Roosevelt, stop. Yes, Mr. Milner. You know I wrote this, right? Yes, sir. Then say the lines the way I wrote them. He was like that. He stopped me in front of everybody. Everybody, you know. But he was very serious about his writing.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't put this and this there. No, he'd catch it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I just
Don't you hate that? I
Yeah,
wrote it.
you-
It's on the paper.
Yeah,
Do it the way I wrote it.
Right there with you.
Yeah, deliver the lines the way I've written them.
Same way.
See,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and I was really impressed by you because I've seen you get a little upset when things are not going right, but you got a cool demeanor. You don't make actors feel intimidated like a Ron Milner and other people, you know, but you got the best out of your actors. See, they thought to get the best out of this, intimidate and you know, and be scared. No. You'd always sit there, okay, do it again.
That's it. That's it.
This time I want you to blah, 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 blah. And I said, wow. He's like a Dan Campbell. You could go to bat for this guy. You know, I mean, you want to do well for him.
Absolutely.
And that,
I'm going to ask you to do it again and again.
and again, and see, that's what I like. And see, nowadays, younger people don't understand repetition. Oh, I got it. No, do you really have it? Because each line, you know, when you do it, it's supposed to be fresh. You know. And when you think you got it, things can get stale if you're not continually rolling it through your head. I remember this incident at Wayne State when I was studying with Von H. Washington.
It could have been through Von Washington. I knew Von. When I first moved here, I got to work with Von, and he had a right-hand man, that name I can't never remember.
I'll tell you his name. James Faulkner.
That's it, Faulkner.
James Reed Faulkner, because Faulkner wrote too.
Yeah.
You know, and he took over the theater when Von went to Kalamazoo. Yes.
Yeah. I remember Von and Faulkner in the African American Studio Theater.
Yes, the Afro
American Studio Theater.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if that's where we came together, or it could have been through Ron Milner, because I knew Ron Milner before I did. I can't remember when I met Ron Milner now. No. It had to have been before we did Family Loves. I'm still trying to figure out where we came together. You were mentioning something at the Northwest Activity Center in 1980.
Yes.
Who was that with? And
that was with Alan Miller.
Okay.
And the play was called Strangers in the House.
Okay.
I was 22 years old. Mm-hmm. And you know, he always used to call me player. Although I don't know why he called me that at all. But anyway. Strangers in the House, 1980, and on that theater, on that stage of 500 people being out there because we sold out one night, I was like, this is what I want to do. This is wonderful. This is great, you know. But 1980, Strangers in the House. But here's what I want to ask you, Robert. I think I asked you this before because I was just so enthralled by the fact that you wrote so well and so in depth. When is the best time to ideas just come to you, and you as well, you too? Do you find a certain period of the day that something hits you and you got to write it down, or it just comes to you, or
things come to me basically life experiences, situations, and noticing life and seeing what a good story might be. When I first moved up here in 1980.
From where? Where did you come
from? Nashville, Tennessee.
Really? Mm-hmm. Don't you got family in... Okay, anyway.
Okay. We got guests in the studio.
Yeah. Nashville, Tennessee.
I'm from Nashville, and I was working at Oakland University. And this is where I actually started my writing. And is this an interview of me? Or...
No. Because you have to understand, when we get to talking about the theater, it's always... because you bring all this together.
Yes.
Because you come from director and writer, and then you incorporate the actors who interpret what you write.
Okay.
Or what you direct.
Okay. Well, I started writing in Oakland, and I was writing to address certain issues, and to provide a source of black culture for these students, these black students at this white university. They didn't have a football team,
Right.
I got been to a university that didn't have a football team, but I started writing there.
Yes.
Annually for Black History Month, and to do a show because they didn't want me to do a talent show because I was too hard on people and I wouldn't let anybody and everybody be in the talent show. And I had these themes in my head, and so I said, well, I'll just write a play to these themes, and I'll do a play, and y'all can do your little talent show over here whenever y'all get ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I started that, and then Chris Knight, who played the music and wrote the original music for that first play, brought a song to me after that called Family Love, where he wanted to honor his family for helping him in school. And, just helping him get to the point where he could go to school.
Right.
And so he wrote this song called Family Love, played it for me, and then I wrote the play from the song. And every year after that, I would just write to issues and to cultural and social and family and relationship type things.
Right.
So I was writing basically on a clock to make sure I had something ready every February.
Okay.
And so, and a lot of things are some things are based on experience. One play, Grandma Rogers' Neighborhood, came to me because I worked with a pastor who told me about a woman named Grandma Rogers who would sit on her porch and say to everybody who passed by her house, always be who you is and not who you ain't, because when you is who you ain't, you still ain't.
Oh, that's
I like that.
And now I had that in the back of my head, but the impetus for writing that was this lady, Ashley Richardson, who played Grandma Rogers. She auditioned for a play that Ron Milner, for Ron Milner's play.
Okay.
And we were working together. I was producing Checkmates, and she auditioned for Checkmates. And
Michael was in that. Michael White was in that.
White was in it,
right.
And she was so good in the audition, but she was 75 years old.
Really?
Then, yeah. And so I said, you were really, really good in this audition. I'm going to write something for you. And so I wrote Grandma Rogers for Ashley to be able to get on stage and to act.
So you wrote that for her?
Yeah, and I took the saying that the pastor had told me about the character Grandma Rogers and what she would say, and I wrote it around that, and I involved some people from my childhood, like One-Armed Jesse and Old Man Boone were characters that lived in my neighborhood when I grew up in Nashville.
Yeah.
So that's basically how that came about. And I'm still writing things that inspire me.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of when we get a chance to get to it, a movie, I've written a screenplay based on a young lady I met working through a Keebler Village called Diamond. Her name was Diamond. She was a writer, but she was troubled. And she was in trouble. That's why she was at the village.
Right.
And so I wrote a play about her, even though she was only there a couple of weeks. I was inspired by the fact that she could write so well. Mm-hmm. And I started a play about her. Couldn't finish it because I couldn't get everything I wanted to do on the stage.
Right.
And so I switched it to a screenplay, and so I'm working on that now. So if you know somebody who wants to produce, invest some money in a screenplay, Diamond in the Rough is what I'm calling it.
Diamond in the Rough?
Diamond in the Rough. And let me just say now, because I'm a little late on this, you are watching Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world. Streaming to you live on YouTube, bringing you all that we can about theater, just so we can lift you up in the knowledge and understanding of what it means to perform and be on the stage. Tell your family, tell your friends, give us a comment. Call in if you like. Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world. Okay, so
yes.
Now that the interview is
because I've always admired working with you. Mm-hmm. We can't remember that first play,
Can't
But
remember.
we've
It
done.
had to been either
We did
through-
2 or 3 plays, Robert.
Yeah, because I was familiar with you by the time we got to Family Love, going into the music hall, and I just can't remember who or where. It either was Ron Milner, or it could have been through the African American Studio Theater with Ron Washington and James Faulkner. I got to hold on to that name, James Faulkner.
Yeah, James Reed Faulkner.
Mm-hmm. But I can't remember. I know we did a show. We was all supposed to do a show. A group of us, Gray and Gray, African American Studio Theater,
Yeah.
and 2 or 3 other black companies were going to put together a theater season at the Northwest Activity Center in 1989. And when the season started, I was the only one who actually put up a show, Family Love.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened to anybody else. Everybody else, I have no idea.
I enjoyed Family Love so much. I thought we were really on our way.
Yeah.
Did you see Family Love?
I was in it. So
I'm talking about at the Music Hall.
I didn't know anything about it. But when I did the play with Mr. Douglas, I was all in too.
Yes.
The play was so wonderful.
Yes, and you know, that different elements of humor, intrigue,
Absolutely.
intense drama.
Yes.
The scene where with Sherelle, the singer, when I was going to kill her, as a crazy guy. Because I remember she went off and said, first of all, you scared me. I'm supposed to scare you, Sherelle.
Right.
Okay? I'm supposed to scare you. But that Family Love, wow. I mean, being at the music hall, and I remember you smiling and because you were just proud of us, proud of how your script had amazed all these people at the theater. And I thought we were really gone. Didn't you think that?
Yeah, I did think that. The problem was the promoters. It didn't fit what the promoters were looking for. They were looking for something a little bit more over the top.
Okay.
A little bit more urban.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we had the good singing, we had
Yes.
we had Vanessa Bell Armstrong.
Oh yes.
We had Allison Williams.
Yep.
We had
Oh, my goodness.
had Tony Grant.
Yeah.
We had Tony Grant.
Young Tony Grant.
Young
back
Tony
then.
Grant.
He could blow.
And so we were set.
Yeah, we were
But
set
the
to go on
promoter-
tour.
The promoter wanted something different, and myself and the executive producer was like, "No, that's not what we're trying to do. We're not doing that." And so the promoter just cut us loose. He just cut us loose. I'm trying to do theater as I knew it.
Yeah.
I have a degree in theater, and I've done plays all throughout the 70s, late 60s and 70s, and throughout the 80s, and I really wasn't trying to do the physical slapstick humor, the punchline jokes, and
Right.
the over-the-top characters.
And the profanity.
And the profanity,
Yeah,
right. We didn't have profanity in Family Love. So I wasn't trying to do that, and the promoter didn't want what we were trying to do. So we took it to a different place. As from that experience at the music hall with the promoter and what they were looking for, and kind of work that I was doing. Is what led me into creating the Hope Repertory Theater at Hope Church.
Right.
It was a progressive church and understood the value of community theater, not only as for a cultural resource for the community and for the city, but as an outreach ministry. And so we were able to run several years of plays, not just my original plays, but standards like the Amen Corner,
Right. Yeah.
Pearly Victorious, A Raisin in the Sun.
Yes.
We were just on a roll there for several years.
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question in regards to that, Mr. Douglas, because you are my age, so we have the same mindset. We were raised with certain values and family values, whereas we don't have that with our community now. Like when I was growing up, knew everybody in the neighborhood.
Yes.
We helped each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we took in people when they got homeless. And
Right.
family members came from out
All
of
of
town.
that.
But we don't have that kind of culture now. But what I don't understand is the musicals that you just mentioned, Pearly Victorious, My Arms Too Short to Box a Guy, all those kind of shows, those are the kind of shows that we as black people are familiar with because it's our culture and our lives. Where did we go wrong with this buffoonery that they got going on?
Well, I wouldn't call it buffoonery,
Okay.
although it
Well,
borders
some
on
of it
that. But where the separation comes is that if you were exposed to theater, then you knew about Your Arms Are Too Short to Box of God. You knew about the Amen Corner. You knew about the Soldier Story. So you knew about these type of shows, the Raising in the Sun. But in the broader context of our community, we didn't really go to theater like that. So the audience that supported the shows you were mentioning were developed because they brought that element of it's actually the word for it is more like commedia dell'arte or slapstick. Or like vaudeville.
Yeah.
And there's always been that divide between doing what would be called serious, legitimate theater and what would be called the urban circuit or the chitlin circuit type of plays. Around the time that I was developing Family Love, Michael Matthews came out with Mama Don't.
Yeah, remember that.
Mama I Want to Sing.
Yeah.
And those kind of Shelley Garrett came out with Barbershop.
Yeah.
And those shows, because of the strong singing and the humor, and which was usually physical, over the top humor, and with the punchlines and the characters all jazzed up, took off and created an audience in the black community that wasn't really aware of theater. So for them, that was theater.
Yes.
And they weren't aware of Five on the Black Hand Side,
Right.
Pearly Victorious. They didn't know anything about those kind of shows. So
I guess you're right, because for me, like I told you, Mr. Douglas, when I was growing up, my stepmother took me to New York every summer, and we went to see every Broadway show.
see, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Exposure.
Right. Exactly.
That-
Yes.
that's the difference. That exposure. You had the exposure. I grew up in a black college environment with Tennessee State and Fisk, and a lot of black culture going on around me. So I did musicals in high school, so I'm aware of theater. And when I go to college and major in theater, I'm seeing not only the black shows. I'm doing Medea. I'm doing Antigone. I'm doing Greek tragedies.
Right,
And I'm
absolutely.
doing Shakespeare. I'm doing King Lear. And so I'm exposed.
Okay.
And so,
Yes.
but the
I
larger
just do
community is not exposed.
Yes.
Right.
And they didn't
That's
get
it.
exposed until the promoter saw this money machine this with the black comedy and the strong black singing, and if you notice, all of those plays had the same formula.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And they were like gospel plays where you had every kind of street situation you could come up with throughout the play, and then at the end everybody got saved.
Right.
You know, so
No matter what you
no matter what happened, you had
You gonna get saved at the end.
the strong singing, the over the top physical humor,
Yeah.
the punchlines, the jokes, and then everybody got saved. And that was the formula for every one of those.
Yeah.
I'm doing plays. I'm writing based on what I've been exposed to.
I trust me now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now that you explain it that way, and because I didn't see it that way, because I kept saying, I guess because I was exposed to the culture of New York Broadway productions.
Yeah.
I saw so many Broadway productions. I mean, I saw things that I never even dreamed I would see, and the original people doing the plays. So that for me was an amazing experience.
Yes.
And then to come back home and be involved in school, because I was doing stuff in school, and I've always been a writer as a kid, so I was putting on puppet shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those kind of things were exciting to me. And then when I see some of the stuff like what you talking about, I wasn't impressed. I wasn't. I mean, some of the things were cool, but I don't want to see that every time a play comes to Detroit. I want to see something different.
That's why you mentioned that word buffoonery.
Yes, because a lot of it to me is buffoonery.
Yes.
I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful
No,
for anybody.
I understand exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
there's a different genre.
Yes.
It's just a different genre. And it's so in the black community because it created its own audience.
Yes.
It developed an audience. And that audience would go see those shows because they knew they were going to hear good music, and they knew they were going to get laugh, you know,
Yeah.
and everybody's going to get saved in the end.
we can't forget that. Got to get saved at the end.
And so it's highly successful, and people are taking it to a whole different level now. They're making movies, you know, and they're doing real well.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for them, proud of them.
Me too.
Glad to see it that is there. Again, you're watching Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world. Streaming to you live at 5 on YouTube every Monday from 5 to 5:50. So please give us a call, give us a comment, give us a thumbs up. Tell your family and friends. If you know someone doing theater who could use the exposure, tell them about us. Have them get in touch with us through WJZZ. And we will get them on and give them some exposure. If you doing theater and you're watching this show, if you're doing movies and you're watching this show, give us a call. Let us know what you're doing so we can get you on, get you some exposure, and learn about what you're doing in theater now. Again, you're watching Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world. Okay, Rules.
Yes.
From the stage to the camera, you have been doing it. I want to back up a little bit. Again, I hope that's okay bringing this up. But when we were doing Family Love,
Yes.
your daughter was killed,
Yes.
and you didn't miss a beat. You that dedication you just talked about for that first show when you were 11 years old. You brought that every night, even though all of us were just destroyed by, just tore down by what happened.
Yeah.
And the whole cast was just blown away. But we were also blown away by your dedication,
Yeah.
to the craft and to that show. And that show should have gone on
Yes.
and traveled throughout the country.
Yes.
Never too late.
Never too late. Never too late.
But my next experience with you, and I was thinking about this a little earlier. I was saying that you came in. We were doing a show once we started the Repertory Theater of Hope Repertory Theater. We were doing a show called A Meeting by Ted Shines, and it was a fictional meeting between Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And we were in rehearsals. The show was being directed by Ruben Yabuka. I was producing it through the theater, and a two-person cast. And right up until the day of dress rehearsal, the night before we were supposed to open, we could not get what we wanted out of the actor playing Martin. Now, you said you played Malcolm.
Yes.
I thought it was Martin. It could have been the other way around.
Yes,
you
it
could have
was.
been the one
I've
doing
never played
Malcolm.
Martin.
Okay, and he might have been the one doing Martin Luther King.
Right. Because I remember coming in. I was so nervous because we didn't have enough time.
Yeah, we had 24 hours.
24 hours?
24 hours. We had 24 hours. You came in the evening of the final tech dress rehearsal, and we fired, I don't even remember the guy's name. He was out of Ann Arbor, but he was trying to do Malcolm I'm going to go ahead and say it was Malcolm, but I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah, it was Malcolm.
But he was trying to do Malcolm like he was doing Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And it was all too proper.
Mm-hmm.
And Ruben called you up. You came in, did that dress rehearsal show. That's when you started to work.
Nervous to death. I was just so nervous because I wanted to impress you.
Yeah,
I wanted to do a good job, and it's like, wow, how's this gonna work out?
Y'all worked all night.
Yes,
and
we did.
Day, and we opened at 5 on that Friday at 8:15 on time, and you were outstanding. You did an outstanding job, and it was just. The theater was off and running from that point because that show sold it. Yeah. That show, they're doing good work over here. They're doing real theater over here.
Yeah.
And so from that point forward, we were off and running.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you came in. I don't know what you had been doing at the time, but you came.
I was doing the meeting. I had done the meeting prior to that. That's why when Ruben called me, I was like, really? I thought I could do it. With that amount of time, which not much at all.
24 hours.
24 hours, but I felt confident, because I love doing the meetings. I love that because those are my two great leaders, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. I love that show. And I had just done it recently, so I felt good about it. But I knew I had to work 24 hours. Me and Ruben put in the time because we wanted it to look good, as it could to as a springboard to get the Hope Theater going. I knew I had to be on point. I was just so nervous, but like you said, the dedication, how I've been trained, and my love for theater, pulled me through.
Oh, so. Yeah, you worked it. Now, I've been watching you, and just like we were telling Diane's going to go home and binge.
You going to go home and watch me, Diane?
And binge all your movies.
Yes.
And I've been following your on-screen career as well, and like you said, you bring something powerful to those characters. The last one you've done, My Father's Blood. Okay, that's very special. The fact that you actually did that role, that the movie was made, and that. You played the role of the father in that.
Mr. Robinson.
Mr. Robinson, right. That family is my wife's family.
Wow.
So those stories that were portrayed in that movie, I knew those stories from listening to her talk about her family and talk about that particular family.
Let me ask you something.
Cordell and
Cordell.
Michael, right?
I mean, I was so nervous on set because I'm supposed to be the father, right? But the actual sons are sitting there watching, the producers, people putting up the money, and I was, am I doing it right? Am I giving up? They never said anything that I was doing something wrong, but I was like, am I too mean and this and that? And let me ask you, you knew Mr. Robinson?
I didn't know him. I didn't know. I didn't know. I met the sons basically. When the mother passed.
Okay.
When the mother passed, I just knew the stories because she would tell us about it. There was one story where that comes out in the movie where he kicks everybody out of the house.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kicked everybody out.
Yeah.
And my house.
So I knew that story.
Yeah.
And I'd heard that story time and time again. When it came up in the movie, I'm like, I've heard that story. I know that.
Yeah.
Know that story. Yeah. So I never had an opportunity to meet him. I met the sons at the mother's funeral with a couple of years ago. But I knew the story.
Yes.
And then I knew he had written a book. And then to see it, on
I look at it in a different perspective.
Yeah.
Because it's a true story.
It's a true story. That's what wrote me in, Diane.
Yeah, it's a true story.
That wrote me in.
All the things that happened to him.
Okay, that was a real thing.
Yes.
Yeah, all that stuff is real.
Wow.
Real.
And I was mad at you.
You're the brother.
You were so mean.
Okay,
I
okay.
understand.
I know, but
The brother getting shot.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
all-
yeah.
all-
5 times. Wow, yeah.
Yeah. Well, him getting shot 5 times. The other brother getting killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony.
Yeah. All
Tony
that's real.
heavy. That's
Yep. And
Yeah.
you know they. My wife Jackie used to go to their house, and I mean they grew up together. You know, so and she was a little older than the boy, but that's family.
Yeah, yeah, and they were always there on set.
How did they respond to your performance?
They would always be sitting in the back, just looking at me. And then Joe Smith would, okay, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Shoot it again. And I look over there and I could never tell. They had poker faces.
Okay.
Okay, I could never. If they
But
like
did
it.
they ever come and say anything to you after the movie was shot?
They said, "Great job. You really played our father." And what they really liked is I saw a picture of their father, and the mustache was just like his, the thick mustache. They loved that, you know. And they got upset because I was doing a show where I had to cut this off. And I came on set, and they were like, oh, "Where's your mustache?" You know, okay, but I said, "Don't worry, they're gonna build me a mustache," you know, and they did. But they were tripped out about that because, like, their father's mustache, you know.
You were so in character with their dad. You know, that's incredible that you were able to bring their father back to life, and they said that you were doing a great job.
Yeah.
Because if you weren't doing a great job, I'm sure they would have said no. Let him go,
Exactly.
fire him.
Yes.
He's not depicting what our dad was. But for the actual children to say you
Yes.
did a great job, that's a whole lot of compliment. It really is.
Remember Robert Williams from the Detroit Rap?
I keep hearing that name.
He died.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Of course,
Okay.
I loved Robert.
Yeah, me too. Robert came to me one day in my early career. He was directing me in something. And he said, "Roosevelt, you know what? You a power actor." And I was like, okay, is that a compliment or what? You know, the way he said it, you know, I'm just a power actor. I have no layers. I can't do this and that. So I took it as a little bit of an insult. That's all I am, power, that's it. You know, so I took it upon maybe he was challenging me. But, you know, I rely on the power he was talking about to bring certain characters to life. And in my father's blood, Mr. Robinson was a trip. And you know how you use your director's shears. You know, it's all about when you're directing, bring me what you got, and then I'll cut away what I don't need. But bring me something. So I guess that's what he meant. I always try to bring the power, and then you can just cut away what you don't want. But at least I'm bringing you something to shape up, you know. And so when we did My Father's Blood, I told myself, okay, they're sitting there. They said the father's mean. I'm going to be real mean until they tell me to stop being mean, you know. And they never did, so I guess I was doing something
So
right.
you were doing their father.
Right.
That was it.
Yes, ma'am.
You depicted the man.
Yes, I tried to.
That's not
I really
easy
did.
to do. You have to really be an incredible interpreter of a character in order for that to come across like real people. Like I said, when I saw The Color Purple, I hated Mr.
Yeah.
Forever. And 3 or 4 movies later, I'm still mad at him.
If he walked in right now, I'm mad at you, Danny.
Well, I'm over it now. Because when you come with that authenticity,
Yes.
it's like you are actually seeing that person's life.
Right.
And a real actor, Denzel Washington, you're in that category as far as I'm concerned. Because you come with that power.
Yes.
Mr. Bob Williams said it.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
You brought the layers in the show too, because when you were in the nursing home
Yes.
in the wheelchair,
Oh, with the
With the
dementia.
dementia.
Yeah.
that was layered. That was you brought the dementia. You brought the character from the beginning where he was a player, a hustler in the pool room, through the anger, through the transition into I won't say a zealot, but a overly religious person, but still with that anger and meanness, to the gentleness of
I wanted to childlike.
yeah.
I wanted to be a little childlike.
Yeah, and it was,
you know?
it was. I thought it was an excellent job.
Yeah.
I thought it was an excellent
Yeah. And Here's how I got through that. Tamala, who's in the studio, she's owner of 12th Street Entertainment, our company. She used to take care of my mother who had dementia for years. And I was just recalling some of the experiences, some of the situations that we were placed in dealing with that particular disease. And I was just remembering that my mother would get very childlike and she'd reminisce, you know, and I tried to use some of that to bring into that particular moment.
You used it to perfection, I think.
Yeah.
I think you're watching WJZZ Cool TV, Curtain Call, on the coolest TV station in the world, bringing you all the stories about theater. As you can see, this has been an enlightening program about theater on a number of different aspects today. Didn't expect to get interviewed myself.
Okay. We needed that, Robert. We needed that.
But again, you're watching Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV, streaming to you live on YouTube. WJZZ, the coolest TV station in the world. So, Rules, what are you working on now?
Well, I just finished, Tamla and I, we just finished a film called Squatters' Rights. It's a movie about this couple and their son. They discover this abandoned house, and I play a guy who can fix up. I'm good at my hands, not in real life. I'm not gonna, but in this particular film, I can fix anything. And I fix up this house for me and my wife and my child, and the owners come back, and they.
That's an interesting story.
Yeah,
I mean that's going
And
on.
it happened.
Yeah.
And they come back to get rid of us, and we go through a whole thing of them trying to get rid of us and us, you know.
I just read a true story about that, but they couldn't the owners couldn't get the squatters out.
Yes.
Because of
That's exactly.
I mean it's almost like a law.
We had to go to court and everything.
Yeah.
And they got
Isn't it
court
sort of like
scenes.
eminent domain, and that kind of the thing that they could just come in and take over because it's abandoned, nobody's been there, and then you come in and fix it up and make it habitable, and then all of a sudden they want to kick you out because
Yeah, I
you're not
think-
paying them any rent.
Yeah, and in the
Right.
case that I just read about, the owner had to move in with them before they could.
Move in with them.
Yeah, he had to move into the house before he could get them out.
Yeah.
He had to move in with them and to stay there until they had enough of him and moved out. I just read that.
Wow. And this is a true story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're telling him there's a movie coming out.
Yeah, the Squatters' Right. Me and
I mean-
Tamla involved. She plays my wife, and
When
she's
is it
got.
coming out, Will?
Tamla, when is it coming out? It's editing.
Oh, I've done a movie with Sean Woodard.
You know Sean Woodard?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I did Politics as Usual, the story of Kwame Kilpatrick's demise.
What?
Yes, I did. I played Joanne, what's her last name? That was on the city council.
Right.
I played her.
Oh,
Yes, I did. I sure did.
okay.
Joanne Watson.
Joanne Watson, yes, I played her.
We should get Sean on the show. Have you ever? Y'all,
I didn't even think about that.
I'll call him because I've done. I've got several movies I've done with Sean on Tubi. The Cage Bird 2, Rico 2.0, Urban Warfare, Detroit Ransom. I've done with Sean
I
Wood.
saw Detroit Ransom.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You saw me. Okay.
I
You saw.
saw the Dance with the Devils. I saw Diamond Girls, and actually, no, that was somebody else. That was another movie. That was another local producer that did a show with Deborah Chanel. I got to get Deborah on.
Deborah Chanel?
Yeah, Deborah Chanel.
Yeah, get Deborah on.
Yeah, she's great. She's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Excellent. She's a director as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she did the Sam Cooke show as well.
Oh, did she?
So I got to get her on.
Yes.
But that she did a movie with I don't want to say Janae and Rocky Black.
Yes, she did.
And that
She did several movies.
Yeah, that we were watching the movie and one of Khalid's original songs came up in there.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they had about
good.
15, 20 seconds of Khalid's music in that movie.
that is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah,
So-
Deborah's excellent. She's
Yeah.
an excellent actress. She really is.
I know our time is getting low.
Yeah, time is up.
It's up. I just got. Do I have one more minute?
One more minute. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. Tamla's in the audience. She's owner of 12th Street Entertainment. She came up with this idea that she wanted me to really introduce, which is acting with character. We're gonna be doing workshops.
I'm doing it too.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, me and Kenny Bowles are doing that.
Yeah.
Well, we should collaborate
Yeah,
together.
you should.
Okay,
You
we should
should.
work together.
Yes,
You know.
should.
So, but let's
We're
talk
doing
about.
a 6-week thing.
Okay, good. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
Okay, because let's try to bring back theater strong with people who really want to do it. You know, closing. People always, I want to be an actor. I want to be an actor. Stars in their eyes, but they're not willing to put in the work.
Right.
You got You got to put it. It's not just fun and games. Oh, it's fun to be out there, but you got to know what you're doing, because people want to see authenticity. They want to see believability. They want to see something that they can really feel and grab onto.
They
Right.
gotta want to relate to it because they might be doing the same thing in their lives, and they want to see on theater stage how it progressed,
Yes.
how it ended, because they don't even know how to deal with what they're going through.
Right, and there's so much talent in our city.
It is.
It just has to be refined, and we can do that through our workshops.
We're
Anyway.
going to do that. We're going to do it through that workshop. We're going to do it through stage
Yes,
presence.
let's do it.
All about the workshop that Kenny Bowles and I are doing that we talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you for watching, Diane.
Thank
Through that, Roosevelt. So happy
It's
to
been a
have,
pleasure.
have to have you,
Tamala.
have you in the studio as well.
Yes.
So again, you're watching Curtain Call, and we thank you for enjoying the show today, and hope you will tune in next Monday for Curtain Call.
Yes.
Have a good evening.
Have a great evening.